Kel-Tec PF-9 9mm, 14.7 ounces, 0.88 inches thick, roughly 6 inches long, about 4 inches tall. Won't bore you with statistics. Let me just give you a basic visual here. It's a 9mm Sigma SW9VE. There's your difference in thickness. In terms of length, there's obviously about a full inch difference there, and you know, with flush fit base, it's a lot of difference there. It's about almost another inch there in the bottom. So, and it's a 3-inch barrel versus, you know, a 4-inch for that. What's the good? What's the bad? How does it shoot? Well, I can tell you, I've put about roughly 200 rounds through this so far, and I don't plan on putting a whole lot more through it. I'll tell you why. For one, let me go ahead and start off with the negatives here. For one, recoil on this thing is a kicker. It's not uncontrollable, but because of its size and the inability to really, you know, I can't really get all my fingers on this, even with the pinky extension base. It's got a lot of muzzle flip to it, and also this part right here of your hand, you get a lot of beaten up. I mean, it's like the as I reviewed in the P11 with the Kel-Tec, you know, it's putting all this recoil into here instead of through your forearm, no matter how you hold it. Simple physics, lightweight gun shooting a 9mm cartridge, it's got to put that inertia somewhere, and it's going into your hand. So not comfortable to shoot because of the recoil. Also, the durability of it is another thing. I don't really want to put a lot of rounds through this because this is by design a carry often, shoot very little gun. Some people are not cool with that idea. They want to be able to practice as often as possible and put as many rounds as possible through their carry gun, and I can understand that and I can respect that. However, for this gun's application, I don't really carry it all the time. I carry other firearms that I can practice more often with, more than this. Durability wise though, there's people that have had issues with cracks and slides. The extractor has been an issue for some, the extractor spring. Some people will have to double the extractor spring and put a longer screw in there. Problems with slide and barrel painting right here on the barrel hood. There's just some durability issues, and reason why is not a knock on Kel-Tec as a company or their quality per se in that sense. It's just simple, you know, materials and limitations. I mean, in order to make this small, this lightweight, and still fire a 9mm cartridge, you have to make some compromises, and one of those is durability. This is not a range pounder. This is, you know, not a plinker. It's fun to shoot in a way, really. I mean, it feels like you're shooting like a 357 Magnum snubby or something. I mean, it feels like you really got something. But, you know, 9mm is not going to break the bank. So it's fun to shoot, but it's not something really that you should expect to put a lot through in its service period. So that's another knock. The size in itself is kind of a negative. I mean, even though that's one of its selling points, it also does work against it for a few reasons. With the flush fit base here, and again the chamber is empty, but I do have a loaded mag, so nothing in the chamber. Anyways, with the flush fit mag, you got nothing going on here. And I have average size hands, so I don't have like monster mitts. But even the first two fingers here, I'm just barely getting them around. This is almost like a 380. This is like a Ruger LCP, just a little bigger than that. And so you really don't have a whole lot of grab a hold of in terms of controlling the recoil to keep it from limp wrist jamming, or even just to draw this thing. I mean, here's a Remora sweat shield model, and see how little you got right here to grab a hold of. You might get 2 fingers on there, more likely only 1 in your thumb. This is not really what I would consider a master grip. You know, I don't care what kind of holster you use, you just don't have a lot of grip to get a hold of there. So, you know, it could lead to maybe fumbling while you're drawing it. You know, so that's kind of a knock right there. There is a point at which you can make something too small, and this is like right on the ragged edge of too small. But you can pocket this. I mean, this will carry in the front pocket, rear pocket, whatever, and that's the reason why they made it that small, is for versatility of carry, which is one of the positives. But I'll get into that in a minute. The other thing is the mag bases on these things. I know, again, that they try to make this as compact as possible, and the flush fit, this is for dropping it in your pocket. It's, to me, it's, I know some people carry it on a waistband like this and they're okay with that, but whatever, that's just maximum concealability mode here. But the one that they included with it, with the so-called pinky extension, it's damn near worthless, really. I mean, again, average sized hands, and it comes up like halfway to my pinky, enough to where it doesn't make a difference, and my fingers are all squished together. They're all bunched up because, I mean, you know, look where my pinky is right there. They're all, in order to get them all in there, I have to kind of like do this weird squished together thing, and I cannot do that while drawing that in a hurry. The only benefit to this is giving you a little bit more grip area to get a hold of to draw it from the holster. You can kind of hook your fingers on that to help get a more secure grip when you're drawing it. So it does help for that, but other than that, in terms of controlling recoil and making it more shootable, it's worthless for that. So it's kind of a knock there. The mag bases are, well, that mag base is just poor. In other words, the fit and finish, Kel-Tec as a company, they're very innovative. They make very unique weapons. A lot of the stuff that they make, others will rip off blatantly. Ruger. There's some others that have made dang near copies of like the PF9, the P3AT, the P11, because these guys, they're innovators. But the only thing is, when these guys make them and they're the first to make it, they don't really seem to really put a lot of effort into fine fit and finish quality. And by that I mean right here on the back, before I sanded this stuff smooth, you got like molding seams like wrong down here, all along, you know, the frame, inside the slide. I had some milling, some burrs inside the frame rails. And there's a quick filter for you. But I had right inside, if I can still see it, right inside right here, I had a little burr there, and I had to do what's the so-called fluff and buff on these, where you're polishing out all these little burrs from the frame rail here, inside the frame rail there. The breech face had some milling marks on it, polishing the feed ramp on the barrel. You know, just you kind of have to finish their work that they started in some ways. But that's, you know, you're not paying for that. That's the reason why a lot of them are cheap. You don't have all that fine fit and finish that you do with some of the higher end firearms. So some people, they like doing that. I don't mind it, because again, I accept it for what it, you know, what it is. It is not a highly refined pistol. It is kind of a what would you say, a poor man's solution for a need for a small carry gun and a potent caliber. So, you know, it's a knock for some people. That's a deal breaker for some. That, oh, I don't want to have to do that. They either don't want to, or they just don't, you know, have the know-how or, you know, aptitude to do all that stuff. They just don't want to mess with it or can't. So, you know, that is a factor for some. Now the good, obviously, size, weight, width. This is about the floor for me as far as the small you can carry and shoot in a 9mm. I know that they make smaller, I know that they make lighter. There's the Diamondback DB9, there's the Rohrbach R9, and there's, you know, some others that I'm sure will come out later. They're shorter this way here, they're lighter, they're thinner, whatever. But they're more expensive, and they have even less to get a hold of than this. So, and of course, you know, lighter is more recoil. This is pretty much the bottom floor for me. I mean, this is, in terms of shootability and carryability, it doesn't get any smaller than this in 9mm. This is it. So, kind of a good thing, kind of a bad, but to me it's a plus, because that was one of the reasons why I got this. I didn't necessarily want to step down to, you know, say a 22, as a primary carry for something I want to stick in my pocket. That's caliber, of course. You know, you're still getting a 9mm cartridge out of this little package that you can drop in your pocket or inside your waistband or on your ankle or wherever the heck you want to put it. You still have a 9mm. And if you're using a good load like this here, Spear Gold Dots, these are 115 grain standard pressure. I would not use plus P in a short barrel. It just doesn't make any sense. But it's 9. It'll get it done. It'll penetrate. It'll expand. It's adequate, definitely. And versatility of carry is another big plus with this. I mean, I can just drop this in my pocket if I'm going out to work, get in the car, stick it my little remote here, and I can stick it between the front seat and the center console. It's readily accessible if somebody wants to carjack me or whatever. I get out. If I go to the, say I go to Quick Trip or something, running for soda or whatever, I can just put in the flush fit base, like so, drop it in my pocket. I don't have to untuck my shirt, because, you know, where I work, I wear a tucked in shirt just to look nice, and I don't have to change clothes. I don't have to step down to a smaller gun. I don't have to bring multiple firearms. I can just carry this one and it'll go wherever I want to go. So it's very, very versatile, and I can carry pretty much any location you can carry any firearm, really. You can put this front, rear pocket, inside a waistband, an appendix carry, 3 o'clock, small of your back, cross draw. You can put it in your ankle. If you got an ankle holster, you can, you know, if you got a thigh holster, if you're a lady and wears dress. There's just so much you can do with this in terms of carry. Anything you can carry a 380, just about you can carry this. It's really not that big of a size of a difference between this and an LCP, and you don't have to downgrade to a 380. So there's a big, you know, right there. So overall, would I recommend this to anybody? As a primary, honestly, I would not consider this as a one and only gun for a lot of people. Again, for the reasons I've mentioned before, the negatives, you know, the shootability, the durability, the grip size, you know, the fit and finish. I mean, there's just things that if you're new to firearms, you're going to look at this and think either this is a piece of crap or it's going to completely turn you off from firearms because it's just, oh, it's just too much to handle, or it's too much work, it's not reliable, or, you know, all those things. It can give you a bad impression if you don't know what you're getting into. And also, as a primary, even if you do know what you're getting into, I would not depend upon this solely as your one and only, because again, if you do any kind of shooting with this, or even if you don't, sometimes in the break-in period things happen. Things can malfunction if slide stop breaks, or assembly pin, or if you get slide cracking, whatever. You have to send this back, or you have to wait for parts to send to you, and it's down, you're out of a firearm. So you've got to have something to fall back on. And so for that reason, I would not consider this as a primary, or, you know, for a noob. But for what it is, though, this is a very good, very concealable option, and that is all it is to me, as an option. I do carry this with me every day to and from work, again, because, you know, I can just stick this in my waistband, go out to my vehicle, stick it in the console, you know, between the seat and console, put it in my safe when I go into work, because they don't allow guns in there because they're stupid. When I get out, it comes out. If I need to get into the gas station, it goes in the pocket, or it can go inside my waistband if I manage to untuck my shirt for, you know, if I'm just feeling sloppy. So it's versatile. But again, more often than not, I'm going to carry something bigger on the weekends, because I can wear an untucked shirt and not look weird, suspicious, or whatever, and because, you know, it's casual wear. So I don't have a need to go with something this small. I mean, if I want to carry something thin and light, I mean, I have this here as a Car CW45, and it's not a huge difference. I mean, there's a bit of a difference in thickness. This is a 1 inch thick, and this is 0.88 inches. Not a huge difference, but, and then in terms of length, you know, little, about a ½ inch difference. But I can still carry this all day long and not feel it. It doesn't hurt. So I don't have a need to be carrying this and deal with all the compromises this entails. So for what it is a good pistol. It is a good option. And for the cost, this is, I think I paid $325 out the door for this in hard chrome. This is the high-end model, I guess you should say, or could say, for the Kel-Tec. But 325, brand new, and bought an extra mag for it. I think it was another 20 bucks. So very, very affordable. You know, the Rohrbaugh, not affordable. We're talking $1,000 gun, and it's just a little smaller this way, a little smaller this way, you know, but a lot more fit and finish quality, and you're paying for it with that. You better be getting good fit and finish for $1,000. This, because it's only around 300, sometimes under, if you can get them cheaper than that. The basic blued model, you can get those for as cheap as $260 or so in some places. You know, for what you're paying, you're not going to get that kind of fit and finish quality. You're going to have to do some of your own polishing and sanding and things like that. So for the value, for the money, it is good, and I do recommend it if you're seeking and needing an option for, say, pocket carry or for very deep concealment, but you don't want to step down to a smaller caliber than 9mm. Very good for that, though. So anyways, for what it's worth, that is my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching.